Just want to make some introduction about myself. My name is Betty Xu. I hope I saw a lot of old friends already from Europe, from Germany, Frankfurt, and also other friends as well. So for those who do not know me, I'm working as a seconded European standardization expert in China. And today I'm going to make some simple introduction about China conformity assessment work in 2020. Today's webinar is mainly focused on the conformity assessment for general or products for consumer products or the general product directive covered areas. For the ICT or IT security conformity assessment would be another topic, and I will do that simple introduction later. So today's contents will pretty much cover the China product quality law, China conformity certification and accreditation regulation, China CCC, some voluntary certification trend, and also some of the online business market surveillance and the conformity assessment related issues. So I hope you can get some information from today. Some housekeeping rules. Please mute yourself. And also, please leave your questions or your questions and or your comments on the chat panel. So we will pick up your questions and answer that at the end of the webinar. And also, we will send all the recordings and also presentations after the webinar. So please contact my assistant for some further information or some technical issues during this webinar. Now I'm going to turn off the camera to see the band, and then we can continue focus to the contents of today. So today's content is the summary of China conformity assessment changes in 2020. Only some of the key information or general information, because we cannot go very deep in just 40 minutes. So I try my best to tell you the changes in this area. First of all, I make some very simple introduction about our project. Our project is named Seconded European Standardization Expert in China, SANSEC. SANSEC is a visibility project which is co-funded by 5 European partners, namely SAM, namely European Commission, EFTA, SANILAC, and ESSI. So basically, the project is trying to set up bridges between Europe and China on standardization and some technical regulation and market access issues. We try to promote European and China dialogue and cooperation in the areas of standardization. And we have several successful phases already from 2006 and until today, 2021. And our project is managed by SAM, and we are supported by a steering committee involving with all partners. So basically, the partners are all the European level standardization stakeholders and organizations. European Commission, who gave us 80% of the fund, and EFTA Secretariat, SAN, European Committee for Standardization, SANILAC, European Committee for Electronic Standardization, and ESSI, European Telecommunication Standards Institute. And we based in China, in Beijing, to promote the European and international standards in China. We improve the context between project partners and different levels of Chinese administrations, industry, and standardization bodies. We try to enhance the visibility and understanding of European standardization systems in China and try to lobby or promote the new legislation framework and also the new approach, similar style of standardization systems in China as well. We are also gathering regulatory and standardization intelligence to support the European stakeholders. Last but not least, we try to undertake some technical lobbies if we get the request or the directions from the European stakeholders, especially the five European SASAC partners. Our goal is to support European Commission's policy and European standardization organizations' objectives in China. And we enhance the EU-China dialogues and cooperation in the field of standardization. And we try to support the five partners to sign the framework cooperation agreement between the European standardization organizations and the China SAC. Standardization covers many different sectors, so we have to choose the priority areas. So with the help and the direction from the five partners and with the survey with all the members from Sansan-Elec and from ESI, and also other stakeholders from European Commission and EFTA Secretariat, we defined the priorities as listed here. On the right-hand column are the sector priorities, which covers Internet of Things, information security, artificial intelligence, 5G in digitalization of industry, automated transport, smart transportation, medical devices, green technology. And on the right-hand column, we cover the horizontal political priorities. Example, the development of China Standards 2035, China Belt and Road Initiatives, China Standardization Reform, and the key policies, for example, Made in China 2025, the institutional changes in Chinese government, which will influence the market access or technical TBT or technical barrier to trade, and also standardization. We are also closely watching the market access issues. For example, some conformity assessment changes, including CCC, China Roads, China REACH, WEEE, energy efficiency, and energy labeling. So those kind of things which will cause the technical barrier to trade from for the European stakeholders, or which will cause some deviation from European standardizations or European technical standards. Recently, we are also closely starting to watch the 14th five-year plan to see how it will influence the standardization and technical regulation and market access in China. That's why today I can make some introduction about the China conformity assessment changes in China, especially those happened in the year of 2020. So in a summary, today's contents will cover 4 parts. The first, the regulation changes. We will make some introduction about the current revision on the regulations on certification and accreditation, and the ongoing revision for the China Product Quality Law. And then second, we will focus on the CCC, the implementation changes of CCC, and also the newly introduced products for explosive products for CCC. And besides CCC compulsory certification in China, I will also make some introduction with some cases or some examples on the voluntary certifications to see the trend, because we only have limited time. We cannot cover all the certification schemes in China. So I pick some hot or some very new certification schemes to let the audience have a feeling or have a to see the trend of how China will do the voluntary certification for some industry or for some sectors, which will cover some green-related products and some like railway products and some of the basic material products. And in today's webinar, I will not talk about too much about energy efficiency or energy labeling and China rules, because it has been discussed many times and not many changes has been made during 2020. The last but not the least is the online business. How China will do the market surveillance and how to deal with certification and accreditation of the online business and e-business, especially the cross-border e-business, because we have been asked by many European small and SMEs if they shipped only 1 or 2 products to China, why e-business will they be checked or by the certification scheme or similar questions. I think the introduction of the last part will give us a feeling to see whether in the future you will still, what you can do to lower your risk for exporting your products in China. First, the regulation. Revision of regulation on certification and accreditation, and revision of China quality law. First, the regulation on certification and accreditation is under revision. Why? Because during the last several years, the conformity assessment, especially certification and accreditation, has played a very important role all over the world. And also a lot of new economic model or market business model has been introduced to international, domestically and internationally. That's why the Chinese government, especially CNCA, would like to make some reform to fulfill the state council's wish on making more ease the government supervision and make some control of the government or the market driven issues, and the government would like to do more services to the business or to the enterprises. So those are the reform background of why China want to do the revision of this regulation. So basically, as the red text in the slide, so the government tried to revise the regulation on certification and accreditation to improve the market environment, to strengthen the market surveillance and market supervision, and enhance the standardization, effectiveness, and friendliness of certification and accreditation activity. So basically, to try to make the conformity assessment better serve or support and facilitate the domestic trade and international trade. So the situation is the revision is still going on, and I believe that it will be finished in 2021. So we did not see the Conformance draft yet, but with the regulation plan, it will be finished in the 2021. And what will be the revision? So the CNCV believe that the conformity assessment should support, facilitate the trade rather than make obstacles of the trade. Because conformity assessment activity are always regarded as services, verifications or assurance to make the two parties of the business be more sure about the quality and safety and other requirements of the products. That's why the revision will be more focused on the to focus more on the market driven. So the government still hope that the conformity assessment will still have the the market driven role for the resource allocation. And the government try to reduce their control power in the market activity and reduce the market access requirements to facilitate the trade and make the trade, especially international trade, more convenient and to better facilitate the economic activities. Then the second column, the revision will follow the international practice. For example, follow the international rules, follow the WTO and TBT agreements, the commitment made by China, and also give the equal treatment to the market access with domestic enterprises and the exporters or the foreign manufacturers. And also it will closely link with ISO, CASCO, and other international standards and conformity assessment rules. It will focus or improve the personnel evaluation of conformity assessment bodies because conformity assessment are human resources, heavily human resources activities. So the personnel evaluation will become more important according to the international standards or according to the international practice. And the revision will follow the principle of easy and effective conformity assessment activity. So the approval system for certification bodies will be simplified. So the CCC, the compulsory certification system will be reformed, and the market access requirements will be simplified, and also the target will be giving the market players more convenience and enhance the easy and the friendly of the conformity assessment. Last, and I believe would be the most important part, will be the unified management and unified strengthened supervision and unified market surveillance. The current situation is the different level of Chinese government and different sector departments are doing different market surveillance for different sector products. I believe in the future, once the conformity assessments will be taken, the market surveillance will be done unifiedly by the SAMR or CNCA. So it will establish a unified market surveillance or market supervision system and will perform the unified supervision, not only unified, but harmonized. So it will be that the products market surveillance all over China will have the same standards, will have the same evaluation and same process. So it will also further improve the regulatory systems and legal responsibility systems. And also, I believe that there could be some chances for us to promote the new legislation framework in China. So the key information we receive now is that with the revision of the regulation on certification and accreditation, the foreign certification bodies, for example, the TÜV, the certification body or the testing labs, will get easier access to Chinese market. So the several previously strict requirements of foreign certification bodies will be cancelled. For example, in the old version, it says the foreign investors obtains the accreditation from the accreditation bodies. So it means that if you want to set up a certification body, you have to get your accreditation already from your country of origin. For example, if you are a German certification body, you have to be accredited or from the German accreditation body. Second, if you are a certification body, you want to have your business in China, you must have been doing 3 years or more certification activities in your origin country. This one is also cancelled. It's not necessary to do so anymore. So from the key point is that the certification bodies or the foreign certification organizations will have easier access to Chinese market. Then the CNCA promise it will have a national treatment. It will have the equal treatment as domestic organizations, which also show the decision or the encouragement of market-driven and also market competition with certification bodies to make the conformity assessment with more market-driven nature, and let the certification bodies to offer more voluntary certifications or more better services to facilitate the industry or the enterprises or the two parties of the contractor, two parties to facilitate the trade. So basically, the ultimate target is to facilitate trade and economic activity, especially during this pandemic period or the post-pandemic with the less international travel, how to make sure the products are safe and with the are compliant with the national requirements. Certification body can do more work in this area, and the regulation will facilitate such activity to reach that target. And that's the key points for the revision of regulation on certification and accreditation. Meanwhile, another big law for product liability in China, I have to say that the concept of product safety and product liability and product quality are very weak, are very different from European side. China product quality law, from my view, not only deal with product quality, but a lot of product safety issues. But we do not in China have the product safety law. So the General Product Safety Directives, GDPR, if you want to find the counterpart in China, you have to check the China product quality law. That's why, although it is called China quality law, it is related to market surveillance, to product safety, to product liability, and many other things. The product quality law has been last for 26 years. I remember it was published in 1993, and now it is under revision because we both know that 30 years of quick development, economy and technology development, and also the concept of manufacturer's liability, product liability, and quality and safety. I think it is quite necessary to make a revision of the China product quality law. And on the right hand is the modification trend from Chinese government. It is still far away from the product liability. So, for example, it is said that it will further implement the enterprise's own responsibility. So I think this is the product liability, manufacturer's liability. What should be done with manufacturers? Whether the manufacturers have fulfilled all the compliance requirements, and whether the government should intervene with product safety, the minimum requirement or the general safety requirements with human safety, environmental, and human health, or the product quality should also be managed, controlled, or evaluated by the government. Because we always see that from State Council, it always sees that standards should improve the product quality. The China become a product become a manufacturing powerhouse, need to upgrade the product quality. So quality rather than product safety are sometimes very key to Chinese government. That's why we need to closely watch. Because, for example, it will further play the role of market. For example, China could see that with the more fundings or more government stimulations rewardings for those who have better product quality or better or stricter or safer, safer products. Those could be happen in the quality law revision. And also they need to improve the quality supervision, the product quality supervision. So we think quality and safety, and also the relevant legislative technologies need to be updated. So how to make the product quality, how to make conformity assessment, how to make sure the products comply with not only the compulsory standards, whether China will introduce more high quality, stricter requirements or safer requirements for the products. All are under discussion, and all need us to closely watch such activities. So that's the trend or principle for the quality law revision. What has been done for the last 2 years, SAMR has done a lot of work. Unfortunately, because of the pandemic and also the lockdown, or sometimes time to time the restrictions of the Beijing city or some other cities, it is not easy to join many meetings or webinars to hear, to discuss in deep all that. But still we can see that Chinese government has done a lot of solicited a lot of consultation from internationally and nationally, from the Chinese domestic companies and foreign invested companies in China, and a lot of sector by sector discussion on how to revise the quality law. A lot of discussions are going on, and I believe that it will. It was planned to finish in 2020, but because of the the COVID and also other issues, it is not finished. Let's see whether it will be finished in 2021 because law, not like law compared to regulation, need more time, and law is more fundamental, will influence a lot of other sub laws, sub regulations. That's why it needs some cautious time. But we do have some trend summarized from the unofficial drafts or some unofficial documents. So this is just a SASAC's personal analysis. It does not represent the official ideas yet. So we will report more official points once we receive the Conformity draft or any other more official documents. But anyway, basically, it is set, the wish, at least with the discussion, with the webinar, with any other meetings, we can feel that the revision try to highlight the quality and safety supervision. So we can see that not only quality, but safety has been included in the system. So it will hope to incorporate with internationally accepted and well-established regulation systems, and also will consider the risk assessment of the product quality and safety. It will reform or define the product recall system. And the second will improve the corporate main body's responsibility. From my understanding, China will not only say that we government manage you and you don't have to take any responsibility or you don't have any obligation. Now I believe the more manufacturer's liability or product liability concept will be introduced to the quality law. So you may not, you need to fulfill the Chinese government's compulsory requirements, but also you have to make sure that your products are safe. So how to deal with that? We can see that it will have more safety obligations. We will have more quality obligations and other obligations like social responsibility or but it is not quite sure how to fully reflect the manufacturer's liability or responsibility in the quality law. And also it will establish the quality incentive mechanisms. That's most concerning part for the European stakeholders, because to set up the quality incentive means that it will reward those who have the higher or better quality. China may have more like incentive fundings, or at least incentive rewardings for those who show the best quality or better quality. So from this point, I can still see the government still hope to control the quality of at least to upgrade the product quality of the enterprises. And whether safety is the requirements fulfill the, for example, CCC requirements or the safety, I mean, the concept of more or safer or more safe products is very, very confusing or sometimes problematic for the European stakeholders. Because it will against the European CE marking requirements, because our CE requirements is the manufacturers must fulfill the conformity requirements, and you have to show that you are safer or your products are better or with more safety sense. So let's say what will be changed, and maybe only one article will be changed, but the sub-laws or regulations will change accordingly. So, and also last part is to construct a joint government pattern. So not only government, but the social, so the social power will be involved for the market surveillance. So I believe that not only the government market surveillance organization, but some non-governmental, independent, or third-party platform could be involved with all the consumers' powers will be involved to check the market surveillance. It is a wish, but how to implement it is still a question mark. So that's the summary for the two big laws, the China Quality Law and China Certification and Accreditation regulation change. Now we make some very quick, simple introduction on CCC changes in 2020. Why CCC? Because I always think that CCC is pretty much cover all the consumer products and a lot of products covered by CE in CCC area, and it is for consumers, not for the different industries or different sectors. So we all often talk about CCC for the market access requirements representatives, but still we know that in railways, in aviations, in industries, there's also some other requirements, but we do not discuss them today. So another one is a CCC on recently introduced explosive products. So first, CCC in 2020 has been changed. I think the change in a better way. So it introduced the more simplified procedure. For example, you can obtain the certificate before factory inspection. You can use your own factory's own testing facilities to do the testing. And some components classification or modification has been simplified. And the paperless or the intelligent or online certification procedures has been introduced, especially during the pandemic. The online factory inspection or online review of some manufacturing site has been introduced for CCC as well, because international travel are not very convenient during this time. And also the frequency has sort of been reduced. So the competition has been greatly improved. I mean, competition with different certification bodies. So basically, the ideas for each and every certification or categories, there must be at least 3 certification bodies designated by the NCA. And there should be about 20 laboratories can make testing. So if you meet unfair or treatment, you can easily change to some other better labs or certification bodies. And also the product categories has been simplified again in 2020. So in the last 2 years, about 62 products has been removed, and nearly 100,000 certificates are cancelled. You don't have to do CCC anymore. And also the self-declaration for the first time has been introduced to CCC. So about 19 kinds of products can do self-declaration, and 7 of them can do procedure A, which are the self-selected labs, could be your own labs, and also self-declaration, or the Model B that you have to do your test for in the designated laboratory and then do self-declaration with conformity in the platform, and then you can get CCC. Anyway, compared to the previous time, the certification procedure has been greatly simplified during last 2 years. So current situation is there are totally 17 categories, 103 kinds of products need to do CCC, and 19 of them can do self-declaration. And since a published 8 general implementation rules, for example, factory inspection or factory inspection implementation rules, and also 47 products rules. And each of the certification body can also make their own product rules, but the 47 can be used as an example or baseline. And 35 designated certification bodies and 251 designated laboratories. And you can see 570,000 certificates, and self-declaration have reached to 250,000. About 30,000 manufacturers did self-declaration since it is introduced in 2019 and 2020. This is the list of a product category, and it is newly introduced in number 19 announcement of 2020. And besides that, something was mentioning is the introduction of the anti-explosive electronic products are introduced to CCC, which need a lot of consideration. It starts from 2018 when the State Council says that the product license need to be reduced or simplified. And then in October 2018, CNCA, SAM are saying how to deal with that. And then they sort of think that we delete product license and introduce CCC, because compared to product license requirements, CCC are much easier. That's why in August 2019, CNCA issued the decision on making the certification CCC on electrical parameters for explosive atmosphere, household gas appliances, and other products. From my opinion, that the CCC should be some products that mostly consumer products or are often contacted by ordinary consumers or general publics, where the explosive electrical equipments are not easy to be accessed by the general consumers. But anyway, CCC, we did not receive any complaint because CCC is definitely easier than product license. That's why it implemented smoothly on October 1st, 2020. The transition period has been finished on October 2020, and the 17 kinds of electrical products have been introduced, and 6 designated certification bodies and 15 testing labs are assigned. And there are also some international mutual recognition schemes, for example, IEC-EX and CB reports can be accepted by some certification bodies. So far, it is quite smooth. So it is a list of the product list for the explosive, electrical explosive, anti-explosive products. So that's compulsory certification. I will make some introduction about voluntary certification to let you guys have a feeling about how China are doing voluntary. First one is green products. In Europe, we have two transitions. First, two transmissions, Green Deal and also digital transformation. So China green is also in a very important position. So green products has been introduced with unified category, unified standards, and unified certification and unified labeling. So on the left hand, this is a green product certification. Currently, the situation is that the green product certification are managed by CNCA, and until October 2020, 29 certification bodies can do green product certificate, and about 10,000 certificates have already been issued. And China also have the information platform where you can check all the green products and relevant standards. Currently, there are 12 products for the green products, including furniture, textile products, paper, and paper products. Second batch with 3 plastic products, detergents, and packaging for express services. For the restricted use of China rules, about 12 products. And green building material products, there are 6 categories and 51 products, including like doors, windows, waterproof ceilings, and coatings, and HVAC and solar systems. And also the last is a Green Express Packaging Product Certification with 10 product categories. Those are all voluntary certificates, but because green become more and more important, I hope that if the European stakeholders in Europe have got a similar green certificate, you can have a look of China to see whether you can still fulfill the green certificate at this moment. Another example is urban real equipment certificate. Why I list here? Because it is called voluntary certification, but actually all the urban rail or the subway systems are managed by the government, by the city council. So basically, if you do not have that voluntary certificate, your products cannot be sold in China, because the railway equipment, railway operating companies will not buy your products. That's why, although it is introduced in 2021 as a voluntary certification, it is, from my view, de facto compulsory for the manufacturers of such products. So it has the products, 8 category products listed here, like transit vehicles, braking systems, traction driving systems, or some other. So until 2020, October 2020, the registered certification bodies are 6, and certificate companies 21, and certifications issued 66. So if you are industry manufacturers and you have to check such voluntary certification to make sure that you fulfill that before you're exporting to China. The last example is some other voluntary basic material certificate introduced by Sensei as well. It is voluntary because as the regulation revision says, government try to encourage market-driven certification or market-driven conformity assessment activity. So a lot of things can be certified voluntarily by the certification body and only be used for some contracts. So this is also one example. So in a summary, until end of 2020, the certification bodies in China registered approved by CNCA are 698. So because if you want to do certification in China, you have to be a company or a certification body approved by CNCA. And there is a free zone, a free trade zone area where the certification bodies are easier to be approved. That's why we list here about 63 applications for setting up certification body in the free zone. However, I believe after the revision of the regulation of certification and accreditation, where the foreign invested certifications do not have to fulfill a lot of strict requirements, you can apply or open your certification body business in China without getting it's not necessary to be in the free trade zone anymore. So that's all for the certification. Now I would like to make some to review the trend or situation of online business market surveillance, how China is doing that, because online business is huge in China, and a lot of European stakeholders or exporters can save their time and energy on making online cross-border business to sell their products in China. So here comes a question. If I will manufacture in Europe and I want to ship my products to China by online business, do I need to get CCC? Yes. In principally, you need to get CCC. And current situation is not widely supervised or checked by the customer or by the NCA or SAMR at this moment. But China have already done a lot of domestic market surveillance online services already. So that's why for example, CCC, CNCA, SAMR, every year will select the products from the online shops or platforms to check whether they fulfill the CCC requirements. There are several ways. They can send email to them, let them ship their products, or some of the or they directly buy from the platform like eBay, not eBay, in China, Alibaba, Ali, or Jingdong, or any other e-commerce platform, and then send all the product sample to the laboratory for testing. If they are filled, the SAMR will inform the e-commerce platform to remove the products immediately or delay, or simply, it's even simple, delete the link of such products means remove the products from the market already. Or if you or if you fulfill that, it will still let you working on that. So the results will be published on the internet or on any other systems. And the SAMR will also control the e-commerce platform to let them regularly or unregularly, randomly to check the certification requirements. If one of the e-commerce platform did not do that job, SAMR will make warning or list them publicly to that will be greatly damage the reputation of the e-commerce like Alibaba, like Taobao. So in 2019, SAMR checked CCC. Now CCC is most important checking points, not China rules. Sometimes China rules, sometimes China energy label, but CCC is more regular, and so it has selected 800 batches. 700 of them are qualified. And in 2020, I did not get the final results yet. I believe it will be published soon. So similar batches have been selected with different e-commerce platform. So meanwhile, SAMR and China major e-commerce platform also set up online verification of the CCC system. So SAMR provides the certification online database to the e-commerce company, and e-commerce just to check. For example, if I sell CCC products online, I have to submit all the information, my registration, my CCC, time and valid, and my certificate number, a lot of things, and then e-commerce platform will check to see whether the CCC is valid or whether you are whether it is still okay, or whether you are last time market surveillance where you are on the bad list, and then it will pass your products, and then you can go online. Otherwise, the e-platform will stop you on doing business on the e-commerce platform. So basically, you can see that the SAMR sort of entrust such market surveillance to the e-commerce platform as well, to ask the Taobao or Jingdong or any other e-commerce platform to check by themselves to make sure that the products fulfill the conformity assessment or certification requirements. So this is a number about how many being due, but the trend is more market surveillance measures will be made for online business. And more market surveillance measures like customer checking will be made for cross-border e-business. So if you are using eBay, Amazon, or any other platform, the market surveillance will also be done. And I think with the technology development and surveillance technology development, it will be in the scope of the law. So the rule of law will still valid for the internet business. So that's why I always recommend even the SMEs in Europe, the stakeholders, manufacturers, to fulfill the certification or market access requirements of China before you ship your products to China. Otherwise, you may lose your products and you may lose your reputation if you got fined or got checked by the e-business platform or by the Market Surveillance Bureau. So that's all for today. And I will give another 5 or 10 minutes for the questions. And if we do not answer all your questions, you can still send us emails. So thank you very much for your time, and please list your question in the question marks in the Q&A session or in the chat, and I will answer your question. Here we have a question about, the question is, are there foreign investigator bodies, certification bodies, that have been approved to carry out CCC? No, none of foreign investigator certification bodies are allowed or designated to do the CCC at this moment. Only several of them can do CCC testing, not CCC certificate. Several foreign invested laboratories can do CCC testing. Any other questions? Here we have another question. The product quality supervision improvement only covers device issues. Is there any recognition of the need to improve system safety in an era of a complex multi-devices system? Yes, yes. There's a lot of discussion that the products are not only single products, a lot of system or complex system are also covered. So it could be regarded as a system safety. But I have to admit that it is very preliminary or very rare to make such consideration for the product quality law. There are some voices in this area, but I doubt whether the government or the regulators will include the system safety in the China product quality law or any other regulations, because still single unit or single products are easy to be verified or certified or checked rather than the system safety issues. Another, is quality somehow seen to be related to material efficiency or remanufacturing possibility, reuse, or other aspects of circular economy concepts? Remanufacturing or refurbishment is always very tricky or question or topics for the regulators in China, because when you talk about reuse, the government is afraid that a lot of safety issues will be introduced, because China compared to Europe is still some of the area are still not well developed. The second hand, the reuse cannot be only second hand. Some of the products could be used many times already. And if the government allow them to resell on the market, it will cause a lot of safety issues because some people in China are still very poor and they cannot afford the new one. They still buy the reused ones, but make it legal will be a problematic for the government. And Betty, when you talk about e-commerce, do you refer a normal e-commerce or a cross-border e-commerce? When I talk about e-commerce in this presentation, it is domestic e-commerce. And cross-border e-commerce is not being well discussed in this presentation. So, but the trend is the cross-border e-commerce will have more market surveillance in the future. Do you anticipate that future foreign-owned labs can do CCC tests? Yes, currently, foreign-owned labs can do CCC tests already, but not certification. So you can see a lot of labs can do tests, but not certification. Now, new 4C vehicle CCC requirements for 2021-2020. Yes, there are some changes, but I didn't summarize them here. I can make a simple another not only CCC but for the car industry regulatory and CCC and other requirements for the car industry in another chapter. I think I have already answered that foreign-owned labs can do CCC tests, cannot do certification. And I doubt whether they can do certification in the near future. Are those foreign laboratories located in China? Yes. The foreign laboratory must be legally registered, located in China. Can they do certification business in China? This is the current law requirements. And also, only if you're located in China, will you have the rights to apply for doing CCC tests or any other state-owned tests or certifications? Do circular economy aspects, circularity of products, material efficiency, reuse, play any role in how China defines product quality? That's very new even to me. Yes, but it is more regarded as green, not product quality. Chinese product quality general rule is to see that it can have longer time, can better used, but whether they are green or not is not considered by most of the people for the product quality at this moment. Maybe in the future, maybe after lobby or the concept change, it will see that green products can be regarded with high quality, but not now. It is not for the environment friendly aspect. It's only for the user friendly or long time or better performance for the products are regarded as a high quality for it is defined from the feeling of the users, not from the government yet. Is there certification for second-hand reused products? Not as I am aware of. As I said, second-hand or reused products in China are a very tricky area. The government do not want to certificate them. But I can check with medical devices because I didn't follow. Last several years, there's a lot of lobby from the medical devices industry to use reimbursement of the refurnishment of the medical devices, but I have to check. So, but for the others, not easy to get the certification for the second-hand products at this moment. I think I have been taking too much of your time because we should have finished in 1 hour. I hope that you have get some information or intelligence from my presentation. And thank you for joining us for today. And I'm so happy to see a lot of old friends during the in the webinar. And have a lovely day. I will see you next time. Bye.